100 laps, some of you might remember the first day. But today, the thing I'm going to talk about is not a string of legal cases. It's not a string of laws, although those will be part of it. Largely, what we're going to talk about today is all the stuff that happens at school that isn't curriculum-based, really. So, like, the things that affect you and who you are and your body and what you learn that are not based in, like, math or science or so much as other things, right? So what kinds of stuff affects you at school or happens at school that is not based on, like, the content you're learning? What do I mean when I say that? It's not about content. What else would you talk about school? Yeah.
The social atmosphere of the school?
Yeah, so the atmosphere, the social atmosphere of the school, cultural atmosphere of the school, absolutely. What else are we talking about?
Like school lunches?
Yeah, school lunches are part of it, right? So the kind of food you eat, right? Breakfast, lunch. What else? Dress codes, 100%. Yep.
Like after school program?
Yeah, it could be things like after school programs. Yep. Go for it.
Like the actual school or the school?
Yeah, the physical space itself is a lot of sort of, oddly enough, what we're going to talk about. Yeah. Schedule, yep. Sports, right? So all these things are parts of school and the school system that we don't think about very much when we think about this topic. Or if we do, we think about them as maybe top of class, right? This topic is strangely worded as the person working on your topicality file. I can tell you it's strangely worded. And so today we're going to talk about things that are examples. Why should you listen to this? A, because you're here, and what else are you going to do? Well, lots of things, sure. But why listen to this? A couple of goals. One, this is what changes as regulations change. The things that actually affect your body, your personality, your day-to-day life, as those regulations change, all of these things change too, right? So these are the effects that we don't often think about when we start writing advantages. Or we do think about them, but then we think, wait, we're never going to fix that problem. Sexism, racism, transphobia, ableism, right? A lot of these isms that sort of float throughout our lives are all problems that we don't think we can fix by ending dress codes, right? And so these are a bunch of things that sort of matter to your day-to-day existence. So as we change these regulations, as we overrule these court cases, these are the kinds of things that matter. It also impacts your day-to-day life. Your students, every day, right? Whether you like it or not, you go to school, which means that these are the things that, like, this is where your day-to-day life happens. So this is how you relate to this topic, right? Love it or hate it, this topic is you, right? This topic is what you do on a daily basis, which means that more than other things, you should be able to relate to it. So this lecture is sort of designed to help you understand how your relationship to this topic is affected by things like hundreds of year old dead white men and some other random theories, and we're not going to drop a lot of names because honestly you have a bunch of smart lab leaders so we can all tell you the names later, but it's to give you a bunch of those ideas and connect it to your sort of experiences. The last reason is because you have to have examples. I don't care if you think of yourself as a K debater or a policy debater, whatever you think of yourself as, just a debater for the love of God, you have to have examples. And those are not just laws, right? Laws are great. Overturned court cases are awesome. The things that Jaleesa was talking about this morning are phenomenal examples, and they help ground you in the actual things that are happening in the law for vulnerable communities, right? And in her case, what she was talking about, a lot of those are based around language and ethnicity and race and religion to some extent. But these are some of the day-to-day experiences that are not bound up always in law, right? Or that are affected by law, but that are not always just law-specific. So these are the examples you can use. So you can think about it in a couple of ways. One, what can these acts actually fix? So when you say you're going to address ableism, when you say you're going to address sexism, or you say you're going to address racism, what of these problems can you fix and which ones can't you? Right? So when you're negative, you can say, look, you're not addressing a bunch of these concerns. All you did was end a dress code. All you did was change a curriculum, train teachers, etc. Right? So these are examples you can use to help talk through those things. The other thing to think about is this is also further areas of interest in reading, right? So this is not a lecture that is meant to give you everything you ever needed to know about how schools as spaces and people in the schools and your bodies interact. It's meant to give you a brief overview of a bunch of topics, and you can say, ooh, that thing, that was interesting. And then come ask me, or by the way, any of your lab leaders who are all incredibly brilliant on these kinds of topics, right? So you can ask pretty much anyone on staff to help you figure out these things, okay? So this is how you relate to this topic, right? We're also going to play a game, okay? So I told my lab this. We have this game that we're going to play throughout this one. It's called Prison or School System. So I'm going to read you a quote from a famous thinker. I'm not going to tell you who the thinker is as we do it, several different people. And you're going to tell me, is it describing the prisons or your schools? Okay? It's mildly disturbing. I will say this. I do not think your schools are prisons. This is not my schools or prisons lecture. They are kinda, but not really. So, but there are some descriptions that are aptly and very descriptively apropos of both. So, here's your first one, okay? Through supervision and assessment, the blank apparatus, so think of this as school or prison, the school and or prison apparatus will be able, in turn, to become medicalized, psychologized, educationalized. Through supervision and assessment, the blank apparatus will become, in turn, medicalized, psychologized, educationalized. How many of you think that's talking about school? A couple of you. How many of you think it's talking about prison? What? Someone said it's a trick. Some of them are tricks. This one is talking about the prison system, so you're correct about that one. To be fair, it does say educationalized, and you hope your school is already educationalized. But one of the big ways we do this is pioneered by a guy named Michel Foucault. Anyone ever heard of Foucault? Old French dead white dude, right? F-O-U-C-A-U-L-T. F-O-U-C-A-U-L-T. Foucault. Yes, I know we don't pronounce many of those letters, we just skip that part. We're not good. He's the only name we're going to drop. And the only reason we're dropping that name is because he's in charge of a lot of these different ideas. And one of the first ones we're going to talk about is the panopticon. Anyone know what the panopticon is? Alright, what's the panopticon?
It's a prison concept that Foucault made, in that there's a watchtower in the middle, and that there is, all the prisoners would be on the outside. So those that were prisoners would not know if the watchguards were looking at them, but the watchguards would be able to look at all the prisoners in their normal behavior.
Yep. So, although not his originally, anyone know who did originally come up with the idea of the panopticon? Bonus points? Bentham. Bentham creates it. This will be our guard. You'll like my art. My art is stellar. Guard in the middle. Bentham decides this is the perfect prison. Perfect prison is to have one guard in the middle, and that tower should actually be sort of dark, right? He's like, honestly, you don't really want to be able to see into the tower. You want it to be shaded. And you want lights to be on in all the cells, and the cells should surround the tower, so that the prisoners never have any idea who the guard is looking at. Right? So they can look around, somebody should turn their chat signals off, and never know who the guard is looking at. Why would that be good? For a prison. Let's pause for a prison. Why would that be good? Go for it.
Like for the prison?
Yeah.
It keeps like all the prisoners in check because they don't know.
Yeah, so you never know if you're being watched, and so on the off chance that you are, you act correctly, right? Because you're concerned that you're always being watched. That's why we keep the guard tower dark and everything else well lit. Okay? This is largely a fake concept of a prison, right? This is just sort of an ideal concept. So this is a metaphor that we use all the time when we talk about surveillance and things like schools. For example, how are you watched every day at school? What kinds of technologies, what kinds of things do people do to make sure that you are observed at school?
Cameras.
Cameras in schools, which is strange, right? So there are cameras in schools. What else are there? Student resource officers, SROs, right? So sort of cop kinds of people, right? Who are oftentimes scheduled to do what? What are they designed to do? Look out, watch you, right? Assuming they're doing their jobs nicely and correctly, they're trying to help prevent violence, right? Right? Good quotation marks, I like the air quotes. Yeah, so we'll talk about those things in a second. What else do we have? So we have SROs, we have cameras. Those are very physical manifestations of watching. What else do we do? Yeah. Say that again. What's that?
Somebody that's in charge of that misbehave.
So we have people in charge of people who misbehave, right? We have deans, we have counselors, right? We have people whose job it is to track you throughout your day, right? Teachers, etc. And their job is not just to teach you content, it's to watch you, right? To make sure that they, and sometimes, by the way, this is good, sometimes they catch things like signs of trouble at home. They help people who are in abusive situations, right? Those things can be good. They also watch you and have surveillance to make sure that you're not doing anything too out of line. Yeah, Marcus.
They track your searches.
Yeah, they track your internet searches, right? They keep you out of some things. So there are probably websites you're not allowed to go to on school property in a lot of cases, right? You're usually not allowed on Facebook, some other random stuff. But they also track it, right? Because they want to know if you're doing bad things. Stealing, touring, stuff like that.
Students surveil each other, bullying and such.
Yep, students surveil each other. Positive examples of this are things like watching out for bullying, right? Which hopefully we do and prevent. What else might be a good example of students watching each other?
In case students are colluding together in terms of cheating on tests.
Right. You might rat each other out if you're colluding to cheat on a test, right? Don't cheat on tests. You're debaters. You should be smart enough. Just remember to like memorize the stuff you're supposed to memorize. What else?
I'm not sure this is like a big exact concept of jail, but it kind of reminds like the kind of reminded me like of like honor codes. When
Yeah.
Like I don't know about middle school bullies, like the 24/7 rule.
What's that?
Like you're expected to be good 24/7, and
Good.
if they catch you.
Do you go to a private school or a public school? Yep. Yeah, so did I. So I remember sort of very similar things. We're going to come back to that. Remind me when we get closer because we're going to talk specifically about honor codes and the idea that those have like those are a technique of surveillance, right? But they're a better technique of disciplining you, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So you're starting to get the idea that surveillance is not just from your teachers, right? It's not just the SROs, it's not just the cameras. You can surveil each other, and you do, right? You watch each other. By the way, you watch each other in a bunch of like really informal ways. You're talking about stopping behaviors teachers also want you to stop. Do you surveil each other in ways that teachers don't care about? Do you watch each other in how you dress? Do people watch each other in high school and talk about how they act? Anyone ever heard of gossip? Right? Gossip is absolutely a form of surveillance, right? It's a way you check each other, right? And you surveil the way that those things work. Absolutely. Yeah, and follow each other on social media, right? That is a technique of surveillance. Social media certainly is, right? Because you can watch everybody's actions. You can watch how they act. So, surveillance is everywhere and constant. And in your lives, social media and the internet, it's like a perpetual problem, right? Or a perpetual good thing. It sort of depends. You'll start to notice throughout this lecture that Foucault and I and everyone else don't really say power is good or bad. Surveillance is good or bad. It's both of those things simultaneously all the time. But basic time's a pain in the ass. Because it means that you can't really just be like, I have a K. It says surveillance is bad. Wait, right? Because they'll be like, what about these kinds of surveillance? Like stopping bullying, right? Those things are good. So there's lots of complications here. You'll notice most of my lectures or most of my ideas tend to come down to it's kind of complicated, and that makes it hard to understand. Okay? So things are complicated, but the panopticon is surveillance. That's what I want you to know, right? And the panopticon is watching you, and it's such a good system that eventually you watch yourself, right? So that eventually you act the way you're supposed to act because you're afraid somebody else is watching. Okay? You're afraid somebody else is watching, so you do what you're supposed to do. Every single person in this room, myself included, Sarah included, has absolutely had a moment where they didn't do something, not because they didn't want to, but because they were like, oh no, someone's watching. Or somebody might be watching. Okay? One of my professors in grad school said this: why would you ever stop at a stop sign in a dark parking lot where flat land was, where absolutely no other car was? Why would you ever stop at a stop sign in that parking lot? Yeah, because you're like magically afraid of a police officer going to pop out of nowhere in the darkness, right? Like, no, because we're disciplined to, right? We're trained to. That's what we do. Why do you follow rules when nobody is looking? Because you're worried somehow that somebody will. Because you have ethics and morals. But Foucault was not so much with the ethics and morals. So, he was more worried that you train yourself to do those things. Got it? Okay. This kind of power, right, this time where we discipline ourselves, is called disciplinary power. Disciplinary power is not just you on yourself, though. Disciplinary power is exactly what you think it is, right? It's the ways that school, society, your friends, your family, you train yourself to act, right? So it's about your space, like how do you design your space so that you act certain ways? How do you design your time so that you act certain ways? How do you design behavior, right? How does school design your space and time and behavior, right? So we're going to break them down into those three categories because it makes it pretty easy. But Foucault thinks that disciplinary power is inevitable at this point, right? He says it starts a long time ago. For you all, you should just think of it as 100% the way that some things are going to go, right? Discipline is something that happens. What's discipline at school for you all? What does it mean? Like when your principal talks about discipline, what are they talking about?
Like getting you kicked off the team.
Getting you kicked off the team, right? So you did something bad? Come on.
Demerits until you have to go to no longer out of school.
Demerits.
Yeah.
Detention, right? We have detention, sometimes it's older.
Suspension, sometimes suspension.
Suspension, expulsion, right? So you are naming the punishments, right? These are the punishments that discipline incurs. But discipline is just the act of behaving the way they want you to behave, right? In my experience, debaters are the best and the worst at this. right? Like literally in this crowd, there are a couple people of you who are really, really good at following disciplinary rules, and there are you who are really, really bad. And debaters really love and hate authority in like equal amounts. So you have this like very big split in the debate community. You have like very kids who like really follow the line, they do everything they're supposed to, they're very disciplined. And then you have the other side of you who are like, I don't like authority, I do what I want, and I stopped listening to everybody a long time ago, right? Debate community is super split in those areas, right? So disciplinary power matters a bunch because it is a lot of times what structures whether or not you're on the debate team, whether or not you get to stay in school, right? Okay, so let's talk about space. We're going to talk about space. We're going to do another prison versus school thing, right? So we have another quote, prison versus school. This author is describing a place, right? So you have to decide whether or not she's describing a school or a prison. Blank is a very old place. It has the disadvantages of all old places, which have never known enough air or sunshine. It reeks with the odors of generations of bad ventilation, and it contrives to be at once the stuffiest and the draftiest building I've ever been in. So the windiest and still the worst smelling. School, prison. How many of you think it's school? How many of you think it's prison? Oh, it's prison. Oh, come on. Lots of you go to schools where there are like breezeways and trees everywhere, like it's all gorgeous. How many of you go to a school that would describe? A couple of you? Yeah, not many. Okay, also some of you are not calling Alright, so part of what we're talking about, why would that describe a school and why would that school be bad? Why would that school be bad? Why would it be bad to be in a school where there was no sun, little air circulation, totally crappy all the time? Yeah, in the back.
Bad learning environment.
Why is it bad learning environment? Good.
I mean, it's hard to concentrate in some of those conditions.
Yeah, because if it's really hot, it's hard to concentrate. Because if you can't breathe, it's hard to concentrate. Yep.
If you don't enjoy it, it's not going to be a great learner.
Yeah, because you have to be comfortable to some extent. You have to enjoy it, and you have to be ready to learn. Okay? So, the question though is, how does the school construct space to make you learn the way they want you to? For example, why are you in a lecture hall where all the seats face me? Where they face literally a stage, right? Like I'm on a stage. You all are down below me, and you're strapped to the bag, and everyone has to face this direction. Why would we design a lecture hall this way? What's the point? Yep.
You can see everyone.
So I can see everyone. Why would it be important for me to see everyone?
Oh, this is just another thing.
Okay.
To put you in a position of power and authority.
Yes, that was very powerful and authoritative right here, right? Yeah. So partially is that I am taller and bigger, so that I have like more authority over you. I don't know why that would be true, but it is spatially reasoning true, right? I studied communication as a PhD, so I can tell you that studies indicate being up taller and being up high does indicate positions of authority. Well, let's go back for a second. Why would it be important for me to be able to see all of you? Yeah, Miles.
In order to make sure we're acting appropriately.
Yeah, to make sure you're like vaguely doing what you're supposed to. I have been known on occasion to be giving a lecture and to call out everybody who is playing Bubble Spinner. I've been known on occasion to look over and be like, hey, stop doing G-chat or Facebook chat or whatever version of chat you do. Nobody does, I'm not funny enough for you to be giggling at all the time. So it's actually really easy to surveil an entire lecture hall when I can see you from up here. It's also easy when you're wearing glasses and I can see your computer screen in your glasses. Your glasses, part of the phenomenon. Or when your neighbor's like 5 seats behind you are staring all at your computer screen, that's how I know you're not doing anything productive. No one is staring at you, take notes, everybody's staring at what you're ordering on Amazon. Right? So those things become easy marks of surveillance. So it's easy for me to see you all. Why else would we design a classroom this way?
So that all of our eyes and all of the seats are pointing towards you, the teacher.
Yeah. So all of your eyes are facing the teacher. Right? Your desks, by the way, in a classroom may not be on, like, at an incline so they can see you, but there's also fewer of you there. You're all facing the teacher. What is that meant to prevent? Misbehavior, talking to each other, right? The reason they don't like your desks as close together as your seats are now is because right now you can, like, elbow each other, right? And you can type on one screen and see it on the other, right? And you don't have to, like, cast notes. You can literally just talk. So part of the idea is that being close together is the enemy. Right? Talking to each other is the enemy in class. It's supposed to stifle discussion. Right? Any discussion that doesn't filter through the teacher is stifled by this arrangement. Does anyone have teachers who do things like put your desks in a circle? Yeah. Or like put you at tables? Why do they do that? Literally, they say things like, to facilitate discussion. Today I would like you to speak more to each other and to take control of the class, so we'll put our desks in a circle. right?
Success.
What?
The circle of trust.
Oh, God. Okay, that's one more handy that I can do. You gotta remember, I teach college, not high school, so things like circle of trust are not things I tend to entertain very well. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So why should students surveil a teacher?
So that they can like learn behaviors from them as a model, or that they can also like make sure the teacher has the correct behavior.
Yeah. So you also get to correct on the teacher, right? My students correct my spelling constantly. They correct me when I do things incorrectly, right? That's fine. So yeah, you're supposed to be watching to see model behaviors you would like to model, behaviors you wouldn't like to model. But the idea is that all the attention is focused this way. Me, I get to be the center of attention, right? I know a million friends, some of which who might be on this very camp staff, who really like being the center of attention, right? So they really like that like everything faces them. I'm just kidding. No one's on this camp staff like that. Actually, that's not true. All debaters secretly really like being the center of attention at least sometimes. Maybe not all the time, but every now and then. And only when there are other nerdy debaters around, so you don't have to worry about the others. So, all face forward. By the way, we also do this in single file lines, right? This is why when you're little, maybe still, I don't know, they're very adamant that you get a single file line. Why would you ever get a single file line? Who cares? I don't. You're like, wait a minute, now that you ask that. Like, there are not many times in your life where some other authority figure wanders around saying, get in a single file line. Why? Why do you have to get a single file line? Good work.
The person in front of you, and then also the teacher can see everyone as they all walk.
Yeah, it's super easy to watch you all walk in a line, right? So it's easy to count off, it's easy to make sure you're all there. It means you can only really screw the person in front of you or behind you, right? So it limits your ability to like mess with other humans, which we appreciate as teachers, right? We don't want you messing with everybody. Also stifles discussion, right? We're back to this, it keeps your attention on the task, not on the people, right? So remember, a lot of school is about getting you to do something. Move, learn, pay attention, act like the right kind of person, right? We're going to talk about what that means in a minute, but all that matters. So space in some cases is about where to draw your attention. It's teaching you, right, subtly and not so subtly, what matters. So school classrooms designed like this are designed to teach you what? You all are not the important part. You're a collective. You're a massive human. I'm the important one. Which is mostly hilarious because that's never true and is silly. Right? You all can read all the same things I read and do the exact same logic, right? No big deal. Nothing super secret about any of the knowledge. Yeah.
Does it also need to like establish a culture and the fact, like all of the things that we do is to establish a culture that like we as like students are not subservient, but
Yeah.
we are like subordinate to the teacher, and that like the teacher is the one that has like knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. So putting the teacher at the center of attention is meant to tell you, I am the knowledge, right? The teacher is the one who is disseminating the knowledge to you, massive students. Does that make sense? If you were the focus, right, if we were sitting in a circle and everybody was on an equal plane, then anybody could be the focus. Anybody could be disseminating that knowledge, and ideally, in a discussion format, that's what you're doing, right? But that's why it's sort of silly to have classrooms like this all the time, because ideally, you're learning enough that you could also be the person who had the knowledge. Right? Okay. So, space is also stifling. And this is what we were talking about when we did the quote. Cinder block walls, metal lockers, fluorescent lights, white walls. Very few things are found to be less creative. And nonverbal communication and psychology professors will tell you that, really honestly, that's not very good for learning. Right? That for learning, you should have different colors. You should be stimulated. You should have things to look at and do. They don't actually mean bubble spin or Facebook or any of the things we're doing right now. Right? None of them mean that. None of them mean whatever Jonathan's doing that has literally captivated the 6 people behind him. Your friends behind you are totally proud of you.
My notes aren't that good, alright?
I've seen your notes. No, they're not. Jonathan's too smart to need notes. It's probably true. He's in my lab. It's okay. He knows I think he's smart. He's the first lab Roswell. So, the idea here is that there are things in life that are meant to stifle creativity. How many of you have classrooms that don't look like this? That aren't fluorescent lights, that aren't those kinds of things? What do you have in them? Are they better or worse? Worse. Flickering lights, terrible. The flickering light is the doom of all attention deficit disorder, right? So you would have classrooms that are better. Okay, what do you have?
I have the same kind of voice in life, but we have desks, like tables, like desks, and
Good.
chairs that roll around and stuff, and like projectors and markers on the board, and those are.
Yeah, I've taught in college classrooms where every wall is a whiteboard, And so instead of my students taking notes on paper, I just toss them all white like expo markers, and they take notes on the whiteboard, so they take pictures at the end, right? Because everybody secretly loves drawing on whiteboards, and not so secretly most of the time. And also it means that they can move, right? They can get up and move around if they're bored sitting in one place, which makes all the difference in the world for some of them. Some of them could care less, but a lot of them like it. All right, so what else? Yeah.
I have a classroom and it's covered in flags and different posters. There's always some type of different thing going on, and it has stuff from different places in the world that the teacher has traveled, and it's my calculus class.
Nice. All right, so your calculus class is different flags and different posters, and that's better, right? It gives you something to look at. It's supposed to stimulate thought, hopefully stimulate discussion. Yeah, go for it.
We have a couple lessons that are just entirely windows, so you can get almost
Fancy.
a lot easier to create a view of everything.
Nice. So we think of these as fancy places, right? Places where there are lots of nice things. That's good. Those are things supposed to stimulate thought. My mom taught middle school for a while, and she painted her classroom green, and then she put lamps everywhere. So green is supposed to stimulate thought, right? She read some studies that said that. And then she put lamps everywhere because that light was less harsh, and it made it easier for kids to learn, right? And then she handed them all peppermints when they took tests, because apparently peppermint is also supposed to stimulate thought. Anyways. All right, so we're gonna move on from space for a second. We're gonna talk about time. How does time get disciplined? How does your time at school is incredibly disciplined? By what? How do you know that your time is very structured? Yeah.
They give you a time limit on how long you can do your work or how long you can take tests.
Right, so you have time limits on how long you can do work, how long you can take a test, absolutely. What else we got? Go for it.
We have a strict schedule of what class we're supposed to attend at what time.
Yep, so you have strict schedules about what class you're supposed to attend. Yeah, about what class you're supposed to attend, about what time, bells usually are some part of this. Yep.
Attendance in every class.
Take attendance in every class, right? We do that here too. It has been pointed out to me today that the only two places in your life where we measure time and not the goals accomplished, right? So you could learn everything you needed to learn in 2 years, but instead of measuring it by year or by what you've learned, we measure by time is school and prison. You have to go for so many years, right? We don't care how quickly you rehabilitate in prison, it's just about how many years you serve. We don't care how quickly you learn in school, it's just about how many years you serve, right? So there's no good quote for that to play prison or school, but it was pointed out to me and I thought that was kind of interesting. That's not really true. You skip grades, right? People move through school faster, people get on your behavior, etc. But it is a strange thing in school that we look at not how quickly are you processing information, but how many hours did you spend there in a day? How many of you have ever finished your homework within like 2 seconds and all the classwork within like 20 minutes of your class and then sat around for the last like 30, 45 minutes of class? Right. Do they let you just like wander off and go do other stuff from that point on?
Yeah.
Some? We'll talk about why you get trust later and how that happens. But this is where all those asks are that'll come about like how long the day you spend at school. There's been lots of debating about whether I should start 8 or 7:30 or 9:30, when school should get out, right? How long classes should be, things like block scheduling, right? All those things are geared towards helping you learn. But we talk about time a lot, right? Time is something we have a big focus on. We think of time mattering, right? We think of time as money, as a resource. That's why people get mad when you're late. We think of time as, when you're late, people see it as disrespectful, right? Their time isn't worthy of yours, so you couldn't put on hold something because you needed to do something on your own, right? So we see disrespecting other people's time as a problem, right? That's why teachers get mad when you're late. You disrupt the other students, you disrupt them, etc. Okay? So time is a big deal. That's not true in all cultures. It's not true in all the ways we do things. But in American culture, in this idea, time matters quite a bit. We see it as a resource. We expect time to communicate, which means it's something that we discipline. You are designed to be on time, yes? You are designed to start early in the morning, right? That's what they're trying to get you to do at school. They want you to be on time. They want you to be on time early in the morning. Why? Why would anybody care to do school early in the morning? Why don't they do school from like, noon to midnight?
Because like people that think after school they gotta get to.
Sure, people have things after school. You could do it before school if we show up a little later in the afternoon. Why else do we do it in John?
Because other teachers want to give you more work.
Again, you could technically do that in the morning. Why would we do it for Chris? Very much sorry.
Businesses and offices and places of employment all start.
Yeah, because most of your jobs will be 8 to 5, right? Most of you will have jobs to do that, and your parents do, so it's incredibly difficult for them to have a job and have you in school like all sorts of random hours of the day. Okay? College, that changes some, but for the most part, that's one of the reasons we do it.
It like aligns with body clock.
Yeah. Supposedly, right? Like, but all human body clocks aren't the same. There are a lot of people who end up working late in the night because they are sort of more nocturnal. So, but yeah, for the most part, it aligns with the circadian rhythms that allow you to sleep, right, the right amount of time at night and get up in the morning, et cetera, right? But we also in America have a day that lasts about 8 to 5. So we want to get you used to that idea. Most of your extracurriculars run at that 3 to 5 p.m. range. Sometimes a little bit later, but not usually too bad. Make sense? So time is something we use to discipline. We want you to act timely, right? We want you to be on time. We want you to take it seriously. Those are things we try to teach you at school. All right. Next, prison versus school quote. Ready? The blank, so either school or prison, exercised over them, the population, a constant pressure to conform, to be the same model, so that they might be subjected to subordination and docility. The blank exercised over them a constant pressure to conform. So they were all the same model, they might all be subjected to subordination and docility. How many of you think that's about school? How many of you think that's about prison? Okay, it's both. Foucault was actually talking about school right at that second, but he then says also that's what prisons do. Why would schools want you to be docile? What does docile mean? Don't question so much. You can think, but don't get too excited about it, right? Right? You just sort of do what you're supposed to do. You do what you're told, right? You follow authority figures, okay? Why would schools want you to be that way? Yep. Yeah, no revolting. We don't like revolting in schools. Don't do that. It's really bad. We want you to listen to authority figures, teachers, right? How many of you ever had a teacher who you were like, nope, don't know why I'm listening to you. I'm going to because it's my job, that's what I'm here for, but really seriously, why am I listening to you? Everybody's had that teacher. Everybody has. If you haven't, you're incredibly lucky, right? And it's not because they're necessarily bad at their jobs, it's because sometimes you're like, I just don't understand, right? Like, what is happening here? But docility is what trains you to sort of pay attention anyway, right? To get through it. I call it playing the game, okay? So actions and behaviors are disciplined by your school. Some of your schools have different standards of action and behavior, right? So how do you know what it means to be the good student at your school? How do you know what that sort of entails? Yeah.
We have honors and we have special awards for being
Okay, so there are awards, there's honors, right? Those are things that you can get to be good, so they reward what they think of as good behavior. How many? That, okay. What else? How else do you know? How do you get honors? Like, how do you know what to do to get honors? Yep.
You get good grades.
Get good grades? What else do you do? You can't just get good grades. Yeah, so you usually have a student handbook that tells you act this way, right? Act these ways. There's usually lots and lots and lots of those things. Things like dress codes, right? Things like being on time, coming to class every day. What other kinds of things are entailed in being a good student at your school? Yeah? So your attendance record, right? So coming to class. Good. What else? That's it? To be a good student, all you have to do is come to class and not be late?